Welcome to Carb Heaven. We're making Keema Cheese Parathas. Oh my God. Meat, cheese, carbs, fried, how can you go wrong? All right, we are making Keema Parathas today. I have been waiting so long to share this recipe with you. It's a nice and simple one, and hey, how can you go wrong? You have keema, you have cheese, you have carbs, it's all fried. It is going to be delectable and delicious. So the very first thing that we're gonna do is start by making our dough, which comes together very simply. So to a bowl, I'm gonna add a little bit of whole wheat flour, all-purpose flour, and salt. And now we're gonna mix that until it's well combined. Then I'm gonna add in a touch of oil and we're gonna massage it in until the flour resembles sand in texture. Then I'm gonna pour in my water and we're gonna slowly mix until a shaggy ball of dough forms. I'm going to knead this dough for 5 to 6 minutes until it's elastic and smooth, and then cover it in a little bit of oil before placing it in a bowl. I'll cover the bowl with some plastic wrap and let it rest for 30 minutes. So our dough is resting, and I have to point out this is such an important stage in the process of making this paratha because the longer the dough rests, the more relaxed it'll be and the easier it'll be to stretch out and roll out. So now we're gonna start working on the spiced keema. It's going to add so much flavor to our parathas. So I have a large wok here, and to it I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. Once that oil is nice and hot, I'm going to tip in some onions, some garlic, ginger, and some finely chopped Thai chilies. And we're gonna cook these out until they're nice and soft. Now I'm gonna increase the heat to high and add in my minced chicken. We're gonna saute the chicken, breaking it up with a spoon into small crumbles until it's nicely browned and almost no moisture is left in the pan. Our chicken is looking good, it's nice and brown, there's very little moisture in the pan, and this is so important because you don't want a soggy paratha. Now we're gonna season things up with spices. I'm going in with a little bit of chili powder, some ground coriander, fennel, and garam masala, and season with salt to taste. I'm gonna saute these spices with the meat for about a minute to toast them off. Then lastly, I'm gonna fold in some fresh chopped coriander and mix that to combine. We're gonna transfer the keema to a plate and allow it to cool. So we have our rested dough, we have our keema, and now it's time to put them together. I'm gonna pinch off a piece of dough the size of a small lemon, and then using a little bench flour, I'm going to flatten the dough out into a 4-inch circle. We're gonna stuff the dough with a little bit of that meat mixture and then top it off with mozzarella. Now I'm gonna gently gather the dough at the top, pulling and pinching to seal the opening. Then I'm gonna flip it over and gently flatten it out into a 4-inch circle. Now it's time to bring out the rolling pin and roll the parathas out until they're about 8 inches in diameter. So we have our stack of parathas that are ready to fry up. I have a dry frying pan here, and I'm going to gently lower my paratha into the pan, cooking it for about a minute on each side on high heat. Then I'm going to add in a little bit of oil and continue cooking it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side until it's deeply golden brown and crispy. And just like that, our Keema Cheese Paratha is ready. Our keema parathas are hot off the stove and they look beautiful. They're golden and slightly charred on the outside, nice and crispy. And if you take a piece and open it up, you see how beautiful, ooey and gooey it is on the inside. There's one thing left to do, and I have been waiting for this moment. Let's give it a taste. Oh my God. This hits the spot in a way that I can't even explain. It's just so delicious. So the first thing that you get when you bite in is that tender paratha wrapper. It literally melts into the other ingredients. You barely know that it's there. It's almost as if it's only a vehicle to just hold all that delicious interior. And speaking of the interior, oh my gosh, that minced chicken, the keema, it is so flavorful. You get the garlic, those little bits of ginger are a kicker, the Thai chilies in there as well, and that whole host of spices. It really makes for a delicious keema, and of course the cheese. There is no harm that comes from putting cheese in a paratha. You have to try it. The combination of that spiced meat with the ooey gooey cheese is a match made in heaven. These are my Keema Cheese Parathas, so simple to make, even easier to eat, and a great spin on the classic.